The foundation of the current, nail-biting drama rests squarely on the capable yet heavily burdened shoulders of Tomas, a man who has recently been thrust into the absolute epicenter of a highly volatile and dangerous investigation. Following a series of incredibly tense and revealing conversations, Bill finally granted Tomas the official, unequivocal green light to dig much deeper into the shadowy, clandestine dealings of Lynette, portrayed with chilling and mesmerizing brilliance by the talented Dominique Madison. This crucial authorization from Bill was by no means given lightly. It arrived with the heavy, unspoken understanding that investigating someone as notoriously cunning, resourceful, and ruthless as Lynette carries immense, life-threatening risks. Armed with this perilous mandate, Tomas immediately set his trusted private investigator on the trail, desperately seeking any hidden breadcrumbs that might expose Lynette's true, insidious agenda. The stakes have never been higher, as the safety and security of multiple innocent individuals hang precariously in the balance, entirely dependent on Tomas's ability to navigate this treacherous landscape without triggering an explosive, catastrophic retaliation from his formidable target. The very first major breakthrough in this highly classified, clandestine operation arrived when Tomas's diligent private investigator uncovered a fascinating and highly suspicious piece of actionable intelligence. Lynette is currently actively in the market to purchase a lavish, sprawling penthouse. In the cutthroat, hyper-competitive world they inhabit, this real estate endeavor is far from a simple, innocent change of scenery. Acquiring such a high-profile, easily defensible property often signifies a massive strategic power play, a massive consolidation of financial resources, or the establishment of a brand new, impenetrable base of operations for illicit, underground activities. The sheer, breathtaking magnitude of a penthouse purchase strongly suggests that Lynette is meticulously planning something monumental, something that requires a veritable fortress in the sky to execute safely. For Tomas, this startling revelation was the exact crucial thread he desperately needed to pull. If he could somehow uncover the specific, guarded details of this transaction, the exact location, the hidden financing, the secret contingencies, he might finally possess the necessary leverage required to dismantle Lynette's impending dark plots before they can ever be fully realized and unleashed upon the unsuspecting city. Luck, for a brief moment, seemed to smile upon Tomas's arduous search when he finally uncovered the closely guarded identity of the elite real estate agent tasked with handling Lynette's multi-million-dollar acquisition. Vanessa was the very person Lynette had approached to buy the apartment, so Tomas didn't hesitate to contact Vanessa to learn more about Lynette. However, the hidden reality was far more dangerous and certainly not romantic. Tomas was desperately and meticulously trying to navigate the intricate labyrinth guarded by Vanessa's tight-lipped professional discretion, constantly and subtly pushing for any accidental slip of the tongue concerning Lynette's penthouse. The risks of this perilous whispered negotiation were enormous, as even the slightest clue could shift the course of the entire investigation. But the fragile, carefully balanced ecosystem of Tomas's vital undercover operation was about to be violently, irreparably shattered by an entirely unforeseen and catastrophic variable: the sudden, unexpected arrival of Dani, portrayed with fiery, captivating intensity by Carla Mosley. Dani is a woman fundamentally defined by her fierce, unwavering loyalty, her incredibly strict, uncompromising moral compass, and her deeply ingrained, almost primal protective instincts, especially when it comes to the well-being and happiness of her beloved niece, Kat. As Dani confidently stepped into the elegant, warmly lit cafe, perhaps simply seeking a brief moment of quiet respite or a quick, revitalizing caffeine fix to power through her day, her sharp eyes immediately scanned the busy room and locked onto a specific scene that instantly made her blood run entirely cold. There, bathed in the soft, romantic glow of the cafe's designer lighting, was Tomas, the very man who currently held her vulnerable niece's heart deeply engaged in what appeared to be an incredibly intimate, secretive, and highly suspicious rendezvous with a stunning, sophisticated, and entirely unfamiliar woman. From Dani's highly restricted, emotionally charged vantage point, the true, underlying context of the complex situation was entirely, fundamentally absent. She knew absolutely nothing of Bill's secret authorization, nothing of the private investigators' startling findings regarding the real estate, and absolutely nothing about the massive, looming threat posed by the dangerous Lynette. All Dani saw in that singular, agonizing moment was pure, unadulterated betrayal. She clearly saw Tomas whispering what she assumed were sweet, deceitful nothings to Vanessa, their heads bowed closely together in a tight, conspiratorial intimacy that practically screamed of blatant infidelity and broken promises. In a matter of mere seconds, Dani's racing mind violently cycled through an agonizing, logical sequence of devastating conclusions, instantly and irrevocably convicting Tomas of being a deceitful, two-timing, manipulative scoundrel who was brazenly, publicly breaking Kat's heart in a crowded venue. The fierce, protective ant within Dani roared instantly to the surface, completely and utterly overriding any rational, logical impulse to pause, assess the nuanced situation, or simply ask for a reasonable explanation. Unable to contain or suppress her boiling, righteous indignation for even a second longer, Dani aggressively stormed across the highly polished hardwood floors of the upscale cafe, her sharp heels clicking with the ominous, rapid rhythm of a ticking, explosive time bomb. She descended upon Tomas and Vanessa's small table like a sudden, violent, and unstoppable storm, instantly and permanently shattering the delicate, carefully constructed, and highly sensitive atmosphere of Tomas's covert interrogation. Without a single moment's hesitation or a breath of restraint, Dani unleashed a massive, overwhelming torrent of scathing, venomous accusations, loudly, aggressively, and very publicly berating Tomas for his perceived, unforgivable infidelity. The entire cafe, previously a calm haven of hushed, polite discretion, suddenly and dramatically fell completely silent as wealthy patrons turned their heads to eagerly witness the explosive, theatrical drama rapidly unfolding in their midst. Dani's chosen words were incredibly sharp, utterly unforgiving, and deeply, profoundly humiliating, painting Tomas as a callous, remorseless cheater right in front of the bewildered Vanessa. In the agonizing, stretched-out seconds that immediately followed Dani's explosive, public outburst, Tomas found himself suddenly trapped in an impossible, suffocating, and highly dangerous predicament. He sat there, frozen in place, silently absorbing the harsh, burning venom of Dani's loud accusations, acutely and painfully aware that his entire, meticulously planned investigation into the dangerous Lynette was now hanging by a microscopic, fraying thread. To successfully defend his tarnished honor and definitively prove his unwavering loyalty to Kat, all he had to do was simply tell Dani the absolute truth. That he was actively working under Bill's direct, secret orders, that Vanessa was merely an unknowing pawn in a larger game, and that the entire, seemingly romantic meeting was actually a desperate, calculated attempt to gather vital intelligence on a highly dangerous adversary. However, revealing this highly classified, incredibly sensitive information in a crowded, public setting, right in front of the very real estate agent directly connected to their primary target, would instantly, irrevocably blow his deep cover and destroy everything. The immense, catastrophic damage, however, was already definitively done, and the highly volatile situation was about to dangerously escalate even further into the realm of absolute chaos. Not entirely satisfied with merely humiliating and exposing Tomas in a crowded public forum, Dani's overwhelming, fiercely protective instincts relentlessly drove her to take immediate, drastic, and highly consequential action to fully shield her beloved niece from any further emotional harm or manipulation. Yanking her smartphone out of her designer purse with visibly trembling, furious hands, Dani immediately and aggressively dialed Kat's personal number. As the phone rang in her ear, the heavy, suffocating weight of the impending, heart-shattering conversation hung incredibly heavy in the tense cafe air. When Kat finally answered the call, Dani wasted absolutely no time whatsoever in delivering the crushing, devastating blow, warning her niece in no uncertain, highly emotional terms about the deceitful cheater she had just personally caught red-handed. Dani's trembling voice, thick with raw emotion and righteous, unyielding anger, painted a vivid, heartbreaking, and entirely inaccurate picture of Tomas's supposed betrayal. The true, profound tragedy of this explosive, multifaceted misunderstanding lies deeply embedded in the complex, layered history and established trust between Tomas and Kat. Unbeknownst to the furious, fiercely protective Dani, Tomas had actually previously confided deeply in Kat, openly and honestly sharing his deep-seated, growing suspicions regarding Lynette's incredibly dark, manipulative, and highly dangerous nature. Kat was already fully consciously aware that Tomas was actively navigating a highly treacherous, shadowy path, deeply investigating a powerful woman who posed a very real, significant threat to their entire inner circle and the city at large. Now, because of Dani's hasty intervention, Kat finds herself violently thrust into the absolute, chaotic center of an agonizing, tearing emotional vortex. On one distinct side, she is bombarded by the frantic, fiercely protective, and highly emotional warnings of her beloved Aunt Dani, a woman who loves her completely and genuinely, wholeheartedly believes she has just witnessed a profound, unforgivable betrayal. On the other side, Kat holds onto the memory of Tomas's stark warnings, creating a massive psychological rift. As the proverbial dust slowly begins to settle on this disastrous, highly public confrontation, Tomas is left standing completely alone at a harrowing, terrifying crossroads, facing an impossible choice that will inevitably and unavoidably result in profound, lasting collateral damage. Does he take the immense, potentially fatal risk of pulling Dani aside into a private corner, breaking his sworn silence, and revealing the terrifying, dangerous reality of the ongoing investigation just to clear his own ruined name? Doing so might successfully salvage his fractured relationship with Kat and temporarily appease the furious Dani, but it would undeniably, spectacularly jeopardize the physical safety of everyone involved, directly exposing them to the terrifying wrath of a woman as calculating, resourceful, and utterly ruthless as Lynette. Alternatively, does Tomas bravely embrace the agonizing, lonely role of the despised villain, silently and painfully accepting the heavy title of a deceitful, manipulative cheater just to ensure that his vital undercover operation remains completely intact and viable? It is a classic, heart-wrenching dilemma of duty versus love, a sacrifice that demands an impossible toll on his very soul. The massive, sprawling fallout from this single, fateful, and incredibly disastrous encounter at the upscale cafe promises to send massive, unstoppable shockwaves throughout the entire landscape of Genoa City for weeks to come. Vanessa, now undoubtedly highly suspicious and deeply unsettled by the bizarre, aggressive, and highly dramatic public interruption, may become entirely, permanently uncooperative, effectively and permanently closing the only viable door on the vital, desperately needed information regarding Lynette's mysterious penthouse acquisition. Meanwhile, the dark, insidious, and highly dangerous plots that Lynette is quietly, meticulously weaving in the unseen shadows continue to advance unimpeded, fueled by the highly convenient distraction and emotional infighting among those who actively seek to stop her. Tomas must now somehow find a miraculous way to navigate the smoking wreckage of his personal life, repair the immense damage done to his reputation, while simultaneously devising a brand new, foolproof strategy to penetrate Lynette's formidable defenses. The tension is palpable, the emotional stakes are astronomical, and the battle against the looming darkness has just suffered a massive, potentially fatal setback.